what does last year do for each team's mentality going into this year? And are the critics going to be right?
Well, the mentality for OU is going to be not to repeat last year, and of course Texas is going to want to repeat it, but that's not going to happen. OU is going to come into this game focused, ready to play. They know that Texas is going to come out firing, and what I think is Texas is going to come out, hit OU in the mouth real quick, and OU is going to have to take a step back, collect themselves like they did against TCU, and then start to play some football.
I think the mentality for OU coming off of a loss from last year, well, the two previous years, 2011 and 2012, they put up 55, and then in 2012, 63 points on the Longhorns. Then they came out and lost in a game that they probably shouldn't have lost. You know, they didn't think they should have lost that game. No. So I think that loss from last year is going to fire them up and say, hey, let's not do that again.
No,
so I think
mess around.
Let's not mess around. We are the ones that should have won the game last year. We're the ones that should win the game this year.
Yeah, and I think we can all agree that, you know, it wasn't like, oh, you lost that game, or there wasn't a fluke. Texas just straight up dominated.
Straight up.
So
it wasn't a fluke.
I think OU's going to have that chip on their shoulder from being embarrassed last year, and no one likes to be embarrassed by their, their arch rivals. So I really look for the OU to come out with a big chip on their shoulder just that ways. And Texas kind of comes in with the same feeling as they did last year, getting blown out by BYU, coming in with a couple losses. You don't really know, inexperienced quarterbacks, kind of the same position they were in last year. So they'll definitely be looking to play with the same intensity and the same determination that they did last year.
Well, the thing was, last year against Texas, OU didn't look prepared.
No.
They did not look prepared. And then last week, they didn't look prepared for TCU.
Right.
So this week is big for OU, because if they go in and Texas throws stuff at them that OU is not ready for, we could see something like last week and last year.
For Texas this year, what are they sitting at, 2-3?
2-3.
2-3 this year. They have nothing to play for right now. They know they're not making it to the playoffs. They're not undefeated. So right now,
they have the points
they got the poinsettia bowl. Right now, what they're focused on is winning this game right here. So OU is going to see Texas's best.
Yeah.
And Charlie Strong wants to. He wants in his first year to kick it off right and beat the Sooners.
Yeah.
They're not playing for anything. They want to win this game tomorrow. They're going to put out their best.
Yeah.
You're right.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And one thing that all alumni will ever tell any new head coach at the University of Texas is if you win one game a year, beat OU. But there's one thing that Stoops is not looking past after all the critics and saying that OU is going to go in there ahead. Our very own Zach Stepanek sat down and took a look at how closely OU's preparing for this match against Texas.
Hey, Reagan. How does those sound? Are they pretty choppy?
Oh, you're good.
Okay. Yeah, mess them. Yeah. Just mess them. I'm afraid they're sounding like two crackling,
Honestly, it's the best they've sounded.
What's that?
I think it's the best they've sounded.
Okay, all right. I don't know. From what I'm hearing,
It sounds.
I just want to make sure they're not bad.
That thing almost came down.
Dude.
I said.
Hey.
Clearly, Coach Stoops not taking the Longhorns very easily this week. Guys, I heard a rumor that Stoops has been sitting in on each and every one of the position meetings this week, taking the loss seriously, taking Texas very seriously. What can OU expect to see from Texas that maybe we haven't seen from Texas so far this season? We kind of touched on it earlier, besides effort. What's new about this Texas Longhorn team that we might not know about this season?
Well, I mean, they got a passing game, and they got a quarterback who can get his receivers the ball in Tyrone Swoops. That's what I'm looking for, because if Swoops has a big game and can run around like Boykin did last week, I hate to keep going back to last week, but that's the best thing that could have happened for Texas, is to see OU lose the week before and see how they lost, and they have a quarterback who can do some of the same things that Boykin can. That's what I'm looking for.
Well, the defense is incredible. So they held UCLA to 20 points. UCLA team, with Brett Hundley on the team.
That people were picking to go to the playoffs.
Exactly.
Yes.
Now they kind of festered out a little bit, but they also shut out Kansas, and they slowed Baylor's high-powered offense. Baylor only scored 28 points, 28-7. They held them. Bryce Petty to 111 yards passing. So they have a pretty stout defense. They're 6th in the country in passing efficiency defense this year. So, looking to see what Trevor Knight did last weekend against TCU, he should really be focusing heavily on that secondary especially.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I mean, when you look at the game they played last year with Case McCoy back there, Texas rushed the ball 60 times for 255 yards. So, and then they let Case McCoy play off some play action. Didn't have to make too many big throws, but when he made throws, they were down the field, single coverage, and they got a couple big throws down there. I think if they're going to beat OU this year, I think they're going to have to follow that same suit that they did last year, run the ball first. They have a stable of running backs. They have 2 really good running backs in Malcolm Brown, Jonathan Gray. They can both get the job done. So I think they'll have to follow, the same game plan that they did last year.
Well, guys, there's lots that's been going on getting ready for the game, and there's lots that is going to be on once the game is into it. We are going to look at some facts right now. What's your big fact that stands out to you in this rivalry?
Some big facts? Okay, well, I was taking a look, and the Dallas Morning News put together a all-time team.
There you go.
So this is not really a fact, but it's just kind of something on the subject. They put together an all-time team, 1 for OU, 1 for Texas, both offense and defense. Something that was a little funny. So guess who, for Oklahoma, guess who won or who made the all-time team as the kicker for OU? Guess. Anyone guess?
Honeycutt.
No, punter, sorry. Let's punter.
Tressway.
DKR, Daryl K. Royal.
There you go.
So he made that. Guess who made Texas's all-time coach for this
DK
rivalry
Royal.
game? DKR.
There you go.
DKR. So he made both Oklahoma's and Texas's all-time teams. Pretty funny. Pretty astounding.
That's great.
Yeah, I mean,
Going way back.
Digging down.
Digging down in there.
Yeah.
I mean, that kind of led into mine a little bit was, a lot of diehard OU fans know this, but some of the kind of common people out there, they don't know that Texas actually named their stadium after
DKR.
Daryl K. Royal, and that he was an OU alum. So
The late Daryl K. Royal.
some people are kind of surprised when they hear that, and they're like, Texas named their stadium after a OU
After a
grad?
Sooner?
Like, how can they do that?
One
Blah,
of the best
blah,
ones to
but
play.
Yeah, and so it's kind of something that's kind of interesting when you think about it.
It is.
Yeah, it is. My interesting fact is that our school, Gaylord, has a light at the top of our school, and it never glows orange.
But
Never
all the
glows
other
orange.
colors.
But all the other
It
colors.
gives you all the other
doesn't.
colors.
That is
orange.
right.
Besides orange. So good looking out, Dean Hockett. I got you.
You know what's funny is looking at these two teams that the all-time rivalry teams. Vince Young or Colt McCoy does not make the list for the quarterbacks.
Who's their quarterback?
It's Peter Gardier.
Okay.
Don't know. And also all the teams or all the players on offense and defense for Texas, they were all players from the 60s and the 70s and the 40s.
Yeah.
Oklahoma's has Mark Clayton, Jason White, Adrian Peterson, so a lot of newer guys.
Oklahoma
guys from
has
the 2000s.
tended to win out in the most recent history versus the all-time history.
That's right.
But I guess we'll see, right, Zach?
We will see. And we'll see a lot more coming up next as we're going to play 4 downs and get a little taste of the fair thrown into it. All that coming up and more on Game Day U.
For some chicken.
Hi, welcome to Everything Canes. What can I get for you today?
I'll have the box combo.
I'll get the 3-finger combo.
I'll take the caniac combo.
I'll take the sandwich combo.
All right, we'll have that right up to you.
Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, located in Adams Residence Hall of the OU campus.
Hi,
I'm Dylan Dumier, the Bill and Walloden Saxon Museum Director at the Fred John Jr. Museum of Art, University of Oklahoma. And my job as a museum director is to try to, as a matter of fact, make this place a wonderful place for the public to discover art, to the student to learn, and to my staff to be able to do their job the best as possible. So my passion, I will put before art, will be education. And this is also a reason it's absolutely so great for me to be on the Museum of Art on the campus of a university. And we together really organize exhibition, programming and so on to open the mind of the upcoming generation. If a museum on a campus is not able to really show our students and our public what is culture in China, Russia and other countries, South America, well, we're missing something. Pretty much, I mean, I'm running a business of delivering cultural and a message about, you know, the diversity of the world through art and beauty. What could be better than that?
he's going to win ball games. So I think in 2 to 3 years they will be back.
Yeah. I know. I think if you're a logical fan,
Yeah.
you like what Charlie Strong's doing at Texas
Yeah.
right now.
I mean,
if you're a Texas fan, I would feel very good
Yeah.
that I have Charlie Strong as my head coach.
And it's hard because the fans love Mac Brown so much, and he won so much at, at Texas, and it's hard when they come in bringing in a new coach that's supposed to be the savior for the past 2-3 years, and he comes in and he's 2-3, but people have to realize he doesn't have his players. But he's bringing in young
starting
players,
now,
young guys that are going to be there, that are going to be in his system for 3 to 4 years, and by that that junior senior year, they're going to be tough.
Oh yeah,
I think you're right.
They're talented.
Matt, we're going to do a little taste of the fair here. Pick out your piece that you got.
My piece?
Down,
Okay.
we're going to introduce our favorite.
Give it a
McCulloch.
Give it a little taste, and tell us what you think, what you got.
Okay, so I went with the Fletcher's corny dog.
Yes.
Here's why.
Full mouth and all. You gotta love that. Can you give us the Guy Fieri play-by-play for this?
This is the best thing. This is why I come to the fair right here.
yeah.
I'm not really into the fried
Classic.
foods
Classic.
too much. It is classic. I like the fried foods, but they kind of hurt my stomach a little bit. This doesn't. Now, I'm missing one component here.
The
mustard.
mustard.
Everyone knows you got to eat the corny dog with the mustard. But, hey, that's so good.
Fletcher's corny
That's so
dog.
good.
Always
so
a
good.
staple of OU Texas.
Yes, it is. Drew's grown up on them since he actually was in the
Absolutely.
womb.
That's right.
At second down, we're going to go to this one. Even though they are ranked number 1, Florida State is not the best team in college football.
That's absolutely correct. They're very overrated. I don't think that they are the team that they were last year. I think they get a little respect because they won last year, and I think that's the reason they stay at the top. And they do win games, and they win them big. But at the end of the year, I think somebody's going to jump. A couple teams may jump Florida State, even if they stay undefeated.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think just if we're kind of basing everything on an eye test. We don't have the fancy computers to calculate the numbers and all these stats. But if we're going on eye test, I think Auburn's the best team in the country right now.
I'm with you.
We looked at that road win that they had at K-State, and everybody at the time was like, they struggled. But K-State's a good football team.
It's a very
and then they
good
blew out
football team.
LSU, and then after their quarterback, Brandon Marshall, was suspended the first half against Arkansas, they came in, they blew out Arkansas. So right now, I still think Florida State's a top 5 team, but I wouldn't put them at number 1. I'd have Auburn.
They are not the number 1 team in the country for me. Going back to what you said, they're not the team they were last year. Last year, they beat all 13 teams by an average margin of 28 points.
Yeah.
This year, they snuck by Clemson. That's sans, Jameis Winston. But also Oklahoma State barely squeezed through them. And then North Carolina State, NC State, barely.
Yeah,
the Wolfpack.
They're not the same team.
Yeah.
They're not the same team.
And then
they're not the number 1 team.
And I also think, since they were so dominant last year, blowing out opponents, we expect that this year, even though it's a different team.
Completely
different people on defense, a whole, almost brand new offensive line. They're struggling to run the ball. So I think we came in with too high of expectations.
Yes.
We kind of put them on this pedestal they're for sure going 12-1.
We'll see.
12-0.
Yeah, we'll see what kind of team they are when they get Notre Dame. Because Notre Dame's a real
Last
team.
year
Can
test.
I say one thing real quick? I don't agree with champions are champions until they lose. And otherwise, they're number 1 in the country. No, scrap that.
I think
You're
you're
not
right.
the best team in the country.
I
Let's
think you're
not.
right.
Well, let's get back to the important stuff. The
I
fried
had to put that
food.
in there.
Mason
Yes.
Prince, what do you got for us?
Okay, see, now everyone wants to go for the fried food, but what you got to do is walk around, walk in the little crevices of the fair. You're going to find something like this. I got my Jamaican jerk chicken, and let me tell you, it's fantastic. If you're not a fan of the fried food, the fried peanut butter jelly, oh man, come on.
They got a little bit of that jerk sauce up on there.
all over
our
me.
intern had a fried peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and he's not feeling too hot now. So
Yeah.
if you're not looking for that, get this. I had a real Jamaican give it to me. He's got dreads and everything. It was great.
Prince stamp of approval. Let's switch to third down real quick. Here's the question for third down. The MAC. Okay, we're going to give some love to these mid-level conferences here. The MAC is better from top to bottom, depth, not just top-level talent, than the Mountain West, which, of course, contains Boise State. Matt McCulloch, what do you think?
I disagree with that. The MAC has 1 or 2 teams that maybe kind of make a little bit of a splash every year or have the possibility of making a little splash. The Mountain West has teams like Boise State, Fresno State, Nevada, Utah State. Those teams, you hear about kind of all the time. Boise State had that run for, 4 or 5 years, starting after they beat the University of Oklahoma in the Fiesta Bowl.
Right.
But Fresno State always is good. They always have a nice quarterback. I think the Mountain West is the best top to bottom, better than the MAC.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. every single reason you just said.
Sorry, I didn't mean to
Literally
take
every single
everything. I didn't
one.
want to.
No. You hit it. You hit the nail on the head. I completely agree. I just think, I mean, the MAC has teams that, one game they might be able to. Beat a decent team or something like that, but I think head to toe, top to bottom, I think the Mountain West is the better conference.
You guys are absolutely right. I agree with you. You got teams like Boise State, Fresno State, Nevada, Utah State, and that to me sticks out. I think that they are the
the other teams
Mountain West.
The MAC.
Easy.
Well,
we swept it
I'm
so
not
far.
done.
Everybody agreeing on
what I
every point
also
so
like
far.
about the
Farley,
Mountain
what do you
West
got?
as well.
What do you got for the taste of the fair?
The Mountain West, they always schedule big opponents too for the conference games.
Tougher schedules.
I like that. Wyoming.
Iron sharpens iron.
Drew Farley, give us what you
Let's
got
break
for
it
the
down.
taste
Now, I
of
know
the fair.
we always want to talk about the foods, but here's the deal is when you're eating all that fried food, sometimes you need a little bit of something to wash it down. You can get your giant-sized State Fair Texas root beer, ice cold, in the middle of the afternoon. It hits the spot, helps you wash it down. Oh, it's glorious. Hold on. Just take it to fourth down.
We're going to third down?
Let's go to fourth down.
Fourth down. Yeah,
Here
we're
we
on
go.
fourth down.
Whoa.
I can't count
Flag,
today.
flag.
This chicken's got me feeling some type of way.
Holding.
Yeah, you're not having any more of that.
Oh, man, come
No.
on. Oh.
That is Jamaican, isn't it?
Fourth down. They put something in it.
Yeah.
Fourth down. Marshall runs the table and is snubbed on a college football playoff bid.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely they are. Because it's the exact same situation as Boise State back in the early 2000s and the mid-2000s.
They run the table, though?
Yeah, okay.
I think they run the table. I mean, they don't have anyone to play. But at the same time, you're not going to get the respect when you don't play anybody. And when you're in a tiny conference like that, you got to play the big boys and you got to beat the big dogs if you want a piece of the pie.
No, I agree. I mean, if this was a situation and they don't make it, then they will get snubbed. But if they go undefeated and they don't make it to the college football playoff, I don't think you can really consider that a snub based on who they play, what conference they play in. I mean, if it was a year ago and they missed out on a BCS bowl, then you could have an argument. But right now, no chance.
Yeah, they're going to run the tables. But they're going to get snubbed. I don't want to take anything away from them and Rakeem Cato.
Oh, absolutely.
Doing
work. They're a great team. They're a great team.
They're a great team, but they're going to get snubbed. Just like what you said. Now we have a 13-person committee.
Yeah.
They're going to take a look and go, okay, you beat these teams.
Yeah, what have you done for me lately?
You should have beaten those teams.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I'm going to put in the people that are in the Big Power 5.
Now the whole thing's based on your strength of your conference,
Exactly.
your out-of-conference strength.
So, hey, guess
schedule.
what?
So
Guess what, Marshall? For your non-conference games, how about you now start scheduling Florida State, Auburn, Oklahoma.
Stop playing cupcakes.
Budding rivalry with
someone-
West Virginia in the
could
past
just be-
few years, too.
It could
So
just
there
be
you
a
go.
middle-of-the-road
Stop
Big
playing
12,
cupcakes.
middle-of-the-road, SEC team that because you don't get that credit for beating a conference.
They will.
Speaking of cupcakes, Zach.
Zach Sapanik, what do we got here? This looks like glorious.
This ain't no cupcake.
There's no
It looks
cupcake.
like cupcake, but this
I don't think he was called a
is
cupcake.
Thanksgiving dinner
Look
stuffed
at that.
into a fried piece of
We got a
goodness.
couple little
see
dipping
it. What does
sauces
it look
over
Yes,
here.
you got dipping sauces. You got the cranberry, the red here, and then you got the kind of the gravy,
Country
the
gravy.
country gravy, if you will.
Oh, that is
And I'm
southern.
telling you what, there were two of these. One's already gone.
What is it?
There's
Fried
stuffing,
Thanksgiving
stuffing.
dinner.
We'll do the
Oh, my
cranberry.
Turkey, you got the
Oh.
stuffing.
Oh,
look at this.
look
Go
at
ahead and
that.
show the camera.
Look at that.
Nice.
Look at
Hanging
that.
out. We got your veggies in
Thanksgiving
there.
right
early,
here.
ladies and gentlemen.
The veggies
Just
up top
in
is
case,
stuffing.
this is GamedayU, not the Food Channel, not
I'm
Guys
sorry.
Big Bite, okay?
That's
There's all
we're
kinds
here
of
at
stuff right here.
GamedayU.
And I'll tell you what, the cranberry is amazing, but let's go with the gravy.
Oh,
Can we
gotta
do
go with the gravy.
Oh, try it.
Every single one.
There it is.
Yes.
The money
The
shot.
win.
Give me my.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Yeah,
Now
give it-
go
yeah,
no
let's
sauce.
get the root
No
beer.
sauce,
Hey.
Zach.
When we come up,
Take it to
we're
break.
talking Texas.
We'll get back to
I am
football, I
excited.
promise.
Offense,
We'll get back
defense,
to the
and it's
football.
raining. It's raining from above. All coming up on Game Day U.
Mac Brown.
Right on my computer.
Just does it from this.
Yeah, I've been getting it on my back.
Go for some chicken.
Hi, welcome to Anything Canes. What can I get for you today?
I'll have the box combo. I'll get the three-finger combo.
I'll take the caniac combo.
I'll take the sandwich combo.
All right, we'll have that right up for you.
Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, located in Adams Residence Hall of the OU campus.
My name is Elvie Ellis. I came to OU because when I visited campus, I talked to some of the current students that were already here, and they had a lot of pride in their university, and it was for an obvious reason. And so one thing specifically that they had a lot of pride in was the opportunities that they had to become great leaders on our campus. When it comes to leadership, OU has prepared me wonderfully to be a great leader when I leave this place. Just being involved with those student organizations, for example, University Sing. I'm currently the Vice Chair of Act Relations for University Sing. Also, next year I will be the Vice President for the Black Student Association. I've been in charge of like a lot of my peers and a lot of students that are younger than me, and those experiences have really just stretched me and taught me what I need to improve on when it comes to being a good leader, or what things I can, you know, what I'm good at and what I can really bring out when I'm in a leadership role. I would say getting involved with leadership at OU is very important because it really prepares you to be more of a well-rounded person when you go on to graduate from this university. It stretches you in ways that you wouldn't necessarily think possible, and it lets you grow in those areas where you need growth, and lets you shine in those areas where you already feel comfortable shining. And so you get to know a lot about yourself and about the people that you work with. I honestly think it's like a magical place. It's almost like Disney World or something, the way that the faculty and other students here really care for each other, and they're really here to nurture everyone and to help you grow and to be the best person that you possibly can be and to be the best version of yourself. If that's what you're looking for, then I think you should definitely look at OU for those things.
Texas. Now that our food segment's done, what are we going to do?
I'm still picking chicken out of my teeth. Delicious.
You had the skewer. You can just,
Yeah. Just
finely tooth comb.
Exactly.
You know. Well, hey, the game's going to be just as good as the food, if not better.
Always.
And
always is.
One of the biggest things that we have to look at, since we are from the Gaylord College, as you pointed out, with the no burnt orange color up top, is the Texas breakdown. What does Texas bring to this game? What are they going to do in this game? Who's playing in this game? Well, let's start with Charlie Strong. We talked about him a little bit, but what does this guy bring to the table? We've talked about cleaning house. We've talked about him setting up a program to where he can work with down the line. But who is this guy? What is he doing? He's changing the culture, but what is it that makes Charlie Strong Charlie Strong?
What makes Charlie Strong is the passion and fire that he has for his job and for his team. You saw against UCLA, he was fired up. His team was making plays, and he was running downfield, pumping his fists. He was excited. And at Big 12 Media Days this July, he was excited there. And they haven't even played a game yet. They hadn't even played, barely practiced, and he was fired up. I think he's doing great things at Texas, and he's going to keep doing great things. They need to keep him. They don't need to fire him.
Yes. What he's doing is he's bringing a new fire into this program, a new passion, because after a while, after so many years with the same head coach, things just kind of, you get a little complacent there a little bit. We saw that in, let's say, Major League Baseball, Ron Gardenhire. I mean, he said it for the Minnesota Twins. He's like, after a while, just things aren't clicking like they used to be. Things just, you get complacent. Now, he's bringing new mojo into this team, and that's what they need, because they have all the talent in the world. Yeah. Now he's bringing a new passion to this this football team.
No, you can tell he's just kind of come in and re-energize this program. Even though they're sitting at 2-3, you can still tell that there's kind of an excitement around it. I just think Texas, they're just some of those, border regions that kind of control the entire thing are like, we need to win now. They're not kind of looking at the bigger picture, which they need to.
It's a process.
They need to hold on to Charlie Strong and realize that they have one of the top coaches in the NCAA and cherish that and let him work, implement his system and all this stuff, get his recruits and everything, and get him in there and give him a little bit of time. They can't just, because they've already had a vote of confidence, a meeting for a vote of confidence with him 5 games into the season. So they just need to stick with him, and I think that he'll get the job done.
Texas needs to realize that Charlie Strong is making this Charlie Strong's team. He's not sticking with Mac Brown's team. This isn't Mac Brown's team anymore.
He's not. Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly.
One member of his Louisville team that he will forever be linked to the coach Charlie Strong, Teddy Bridgewater. He got his quarterback there at Louisville, and he led them to a Sugar Bowl victory over his old team, Florida.
Yeah.
Great storyline. Early on here in the first year for Charlie Strong, it looks like he's found himself another quarterback in Tyrone Swoops. Maybe not quite Teddy Bridgewater yet, but what does Tyrone Swoops bring to the table? I know we talked a little bit about it earlier, but what have you seen from Swoops so far?
He can do it all. He's a decent passer. He's completed 59.4% of his passes, 5 touchdowns, almost about 734 yards passing. He can do that, but he's good. He can also get out of the pocket and be a little bit mobile.
Yeah.
Kind of maybe a Vince Young, but not as talented as a Vince Young, maybe.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I mean, I agree. He's just they faced a kind of a similar quarterback last week, and Trayvon Boykin.
Yeah.
I don't think Tyrone Swoops is near the athlete as Trayvon Boykin is. He's not near as fast as he is. Kind of stiff running. He can do it, but kind of it looks a little awkward. But really, I think since he's become the quarterback, their offense has kind of stalled a little bit. They put up 42 points with David Ash against North Texas. And then since David Ash went out, the offense has been averaging 13.2 points a game. And they played some decent teams, BYU, UCLA, and Baylor, but still they're not, putting up points or any of this stuff. So some of that does fall onto him to get the offense going.
Yeah, well, I mean, you got to score points to win games, and that's day one stuff. But if the schedule worked out for OU, they would have played Texas before they played TCU to try to get a little tune-up to see how they handle a mobile quarterback. But it's kind of the opposite now. Like you said, Tyrone. I keep switching their names. Tyrone Swoops is not as athletic as Boykin is, and I think OU will have a handle on it. He's very comfortable in the pocket, but he's just as comfortable outside. I go back to UCLA. In that game where he was looking good outside the pocket, making throws downfield.
The key is he's still a little bit young, but young doesn't matter if you can rely on a couple of amazing running backs, right, Zach?
Yeah, but let's take a look at a little bit more of the offense. Malcolm Brown, Jonathan Gray. What they did to OU last year was they ripped him a new one.
Yeah.
Right where it counted, right down the heart.
Right.
Guys, what does this duo?
Well, I think OU's feeling okay right now. Their pass offense is what got them in trouble. Their rushing defense is still very good. They haven't allowed a 100-yard rusher all season. Let's be clear on that. That's what Oklahoma has not allowed a 100-yard rusher all season. And after last year, they're going to need to watch these guys because they, like you said, Zach, ran all over them.
Yeah.
Just some
Jonathan
Gray. OU's defense was younger last year. They didn't have the same guys that they have this year, but they need to watch out for these guys.
Yeah, man, I agree. Over the past couple seasons, they've kind of been the best tandem of backs in the Big 12, I think. Jonathan Gray is the better out of the two, but he's coming off an Achilles tear that he suffered midway through last year. So he's still kind of rebounding that, but he is averaging nearly 5 yards a carry this year. And if you can do that against anybody, then that's good. First and second down, if you can get that. But they just, and last year OU without Jordan Phillips, undersized, so they got him back this year. I think it might be a little bit of a different story, and we'll see, because I think that's the key to the game.
I couldn't agree more. I can't really elaborate too much more on that.
The thing here, this Texas team, is there are some fast guys.
They got some speed.
The reason they don't come out here before the game is because they wouldn't be fast heading into the game. So take me through a couple guys that stand out to you that Swoops has been thrown to this year.
Now, obviously, you got Jackson Shipley, who's been there for a few years now, the younger brother of Jordan Shipley, obviously made so many waves and played so many plays with Colt McCoy. But Jackson Shipley there, obviously. But another guy who's broke out for the Horns this year in his final year as the Longhorns, John Harris, the guy that Charlie Strong and his staff gave a second chance, and he's really been paying dividends for them. Guys that are sneaky good route runners, maybe not elite speed, but tell you what, they can burn you if you keep your eyes closed. Zach Sanchez, Julian Wilson will have some trouble with these guys a little bit later on through the game. One thing that the last key cog to the offense that obviously we always save for last and we always tend to overlook, a rebuild offensive line. How are they looking in helping the running game and protecting Swoops from probably what's going to be a pretty angry Oklahoma defense tomorrow morning?
Well, I mean, the offensive line is not very good for Texas right now. That's one of their weakest points, is that offensive line. They don't run the ball well, and luckily luckily Swoops has some legs and can get outside the pocket, so there's not as many sacks as there should be. But that's what I'm looking. I don't think they're very good on the offensive line.
Texas's offensive line, their weak point. OU's strong point, defensive line.
Yeah.
Front seven especially. Watch out. I mean, yeah, it's going to be a long day for those guys, I have to imagine. I mean, he cut, how many did he cut? I mean, he cut almost
they
the
lost
entire
it.
line,
They have
right?
injuries. They have cuts. I mean, there's some young guys being now. The important thing to remember about this offensive line and about Texas roster in general is they always bring in highly touted recruits. Both Jonathan Gray, Malcolm Brown, 5-star recruits. Tyrone Soups, 5-star recruit. Young, talented, inexperienced.
Experienced.
And this game is not the one that you want to have an experience in. This game's unlike any other.
Similar to the Oklahoma defense of last season.
Very much so. Very much so.
Guys, there's a lot of Texas talk. Cody, is there anything you've seen just in looking at Texas that really stands out to you?
I mean, not really. I mean, I've watched their
offensive side,
games and their offense. There's just kind of, especially, they've kind of loosened it up a little bit after the last couple games. Tyrone Soups got in there, kind of got his feet wet. They've kind of opened it up a little bit more. But I still don't see how he's going to have to play an extraordinary game to be able to beat OU's defense.
And that's hard to do here.
And I just don't see him being able to do that yet, being so young, being in this environment for the first time, because people don't really get how crazy it is and how big of an environment it is on TV. You have to be here and see it for yourself.
Yes.
And so you can get caught up in it, and I think he might get caught up in it tomorrow.
Well, guys, that's all for the offensive side of the ball. When we come back, we're going to look at the defense, break that down, the special teams. Drew's going to lose his root beer in a few seconds. The Texas Tower is going up to the top.
Here we go.
It's GamedayU live from the Texas State Fair.
You're watching GamedayU on OUTV.
Man, I am hungry.
Yeah, I could go for some chicken.
Hi, welcome to Days and Canes. What can I get for you today?
I'll have the box combo. I'll get the three-finger combo.
I'll take the caniac combo.
I'll take the sandwich combo.
All right, we'll have that right up for you.
Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, located in Adams Residence Hall, the OU campus.
That one was actually written about an ex-girlfriend, so. But since I'm writing the song, it gets to have a happy ending.
My name is Kyle Harper. I teach here at the University of Oklahoma in the Department of Classics and Letters. I also direct a program called the Institute for the American Constitutional Heritage. One of the things that makes OU unique is our program, the Institute for the American Constitutional Heritage. It's a program that was started a little over 2 years ago by President Boren to make OU a national leader in civic education. We have an amazing faculty, we have amazing students, and it's a place where people come together to study history, law, and politics, and it makes OU different from any other campus. One of the things that makes teaching college students particularly special is that they're at a part of their lives where they're becoming adults and they're deciding what they want to do for the rest of their lives. And so, as a teacher of history, part of my role is to help them understand their unique moment in history and the kinds of responsibilities that gives them and the kind of opportunities that gives them. I was a student here myself, and I think that helps me relate to the students and remember what it's like to be in college and to be at an exciting point in your life where you're able to study whatever you want and able to decide what you want to do with the rest of your life. this is a place where undergraduate education is truly valued, and the kind of investment we make in our students makes an impact. But at the same time, it's a top-tier research university where the faculty are engaging in cutting-edge, important, significant types of research in all different ranges of fields in humanities and sciences and social sciences. So it's intellectually in a place where discoveries are happening and where those discoveries are passed on to our students.
Welcome back to Game Day U Live outside the Cotton Bowl, right in the middle of the State Fair of Texas.
There it is.
We got the Texas Tower coming back down. Ben, you guys saw it a little bit coming down there, and it's. Have you guys ever taken a ride on that thing?
No, but we will.
I want to. I want to.
Are you afraid of heights, Cody?
Cody's afraid of heights.
Oh, man.
Cody's afraid of heights.
It's okay. It spins, too.
So you don't like anything
okay.
really on here because everything's really tall.
There's that haunted maze over there that
The only thing that I wouldn't do is that little ride next to the slingshot.
Yeah.
The little long bar, and you just go around
no
and
thanks.
around.
No thanks.
There'd be a stream of throw up.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. We could have a contest after Game Day U was done to who can eat the most fried food and ride the tilt-a-whirliest rides at the State Fair, and who can keep it in.
I gotta say,
I'm gonna go ahead and
I have an
forfeit.
iron stomach, but I don't think I can.
You need a package idea. There you go, Drew.
I'm gonna forfeit my body to that.
Okay,
I'm not doing that.
So you're not in on the efforts.
I'm not in.
I'm in.
You're in?
I'm in. Yeah, always.
I'm in with you. Let's do it.
I'm in.
Okay,
So
Cody.
One-on-one thing.
Guys,
We'll switch to some Texas defense. How's that sound, Zach?
Texas defense sounds good. There's about as many. Well, actually, I was going to make a joke about Swiss cheese and holes, but there's really not that many holes in the Texas defense. They're pretty good.
They're pretty good. The strength of their team lies in their two tackles, Des Jackson, Malcolm Brown, and then also two of their main linebackers, Jordan Hicks, and I'm going to forget his name, Steve Edmond, both with over 60 tackles already this season. Guys, there's a big, strong line going in against Oklahoma's big, strong line. It's good against good when we're talking about the war in the trenches on that side of the ball.
Yeah, it's going to be good. OU's going to have to be ready. They're going to have to come out and hit hit Texas in the mouth because Baylor got hit in the mouth from Texas.
There you go.
That's what I was going for.
We all said that Baylor was going to put their feet on their necks and never let up.
Yeah.
Well, Baylor never had the chance because
no.
their defense is so good. And looking back at from last weekend from Oklahoma, I'm a little scared.
They're solid all over the place. There's not a weakness, I don't think. OU offense will have their hands full, just like they did last year.
Yeah.
Or not last year, but last year too. But last week with TCU, it's going to be a similar defense to what they faced last week, just based on physicality and the defensive line being able to get off blocks, make tackles for losses, and all that stuff. It'll be a physical game.
Charlie Strong obviously built his career off of being a great defensive coordinator for Florida and then taking that idea to Louisville. And Vance Bedford has tons of different looks coming in. Bryce Petty saying last week, I've never seen so many crazy different defensive looks. Like you said, Quandre Diggs, Duke Thomas on the back end. Guys, what is it about this scheme that you think could present problems to an Oklahoma offense that has shown cracks, especially against TCU last weekend?
I mean, I think if Trevor Knight comes out and throws the ball for 35 times again, it'll be a long day for OU offense. I think OU is going to have to establish the run to to win this game, because if Trevor Knight's throwing the ball 35 times, then it doesn't spell good for the OU offense.
You had Bryce Petty last week, 7 of 22.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
Bryce
if they
Petty.
can do that to Bryce Petty,
Right.
who, I mean, is the
passer.
best quarterback in the Big 12, then it could be a long day. So we'll see what Josh Heupel has dialed up.
Yeah, you hope that Heupel kind of has a lot of different schemes lined up, and if one thing's not working, then try something else. We saw a lot of draw plays last week. Didn't really work a lot of the times. Didn't change it up. Something's not working, change it up. Run the ball. That's not working, pass the ball. If that's not working, run the ball again. Just kind of go back and forth. Do some trickery. Trickeration's great.
Yeah, Blake Bell said earlier this week that if they're running the ball well, keep running the ball.
Yes.
And like you said, if they're passing the ball well, pass the ball downfield.
I mean,
hit Sterling Shepard. But if they're not doing it right, he said you got to keep the consistency up, which is one thing that we'll get to it later. But the consistency just non-existent last year.
And I mean, you look at it last week too. I think the offensive line might have taken a little slap in the face how they stopped running the ball, in the third quarter. and in the fourth quarter. So we'll see. Maybe they come out hungry today.
Yeah, my one word last week was pressure, and TCU put pressure on Trevor Knight. If I'm Texas, I'm blitzing every down because Trevor Knight did not handle that pressure very well. Neither did that offensive line. So when Trevor Knight drops back to pass, expect Texas to bring the house. Yep. That's what I would do if I was Charlie Strong and
so they did to Bryce.
Yeah, exactly.
They did it to Bryce Petty. And he threw for under 120 yards passing as well. So you got to think, a Baylor offense, which is as hyped as it gets for really any team in the country as far as an offensive scheme goes, shut down against a Texas team that we've talked about, 2-3 on the year. But does 2-3 mean anything? I think my question is this: does 2-3 mean anything to a football team? Does it mean more to an offense that they're 2-3 and they feel the pressure to score points, get up on the board, and get on the board early, or does it put more pressure on the defense to perform up to the expectations to try and win a game?
I'll be honest with you. I think this defense knows that it has to carry this Texas team as its offense continues to get their legs under them. And I think they feel like under the guidance of Vance Bedford, this really good defensive coordinator who's taking after Charlie Strong, he's out there firing shots at Oklahoma this week saying, these kids should go to Oklahoma from Texas. They wish they could come to Texas University. They wish they could have come to the University of Texas and play for us and play for our defense. And you know his guys are going to back him. They are pumped up and ready to go. Texas is going to come, and as far as records go, I honestly believe when it comes to the Red River rivalry, I did it.
Throw them out.
Hey, we have some Oklahoma
records
fans.
mean very little.
You guys want to say anything? Say anything to our Texas fans out there?
Texas sucks.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah, you know, all the pressure right now is on the Texas offense because the Texas defense has shown what they can do, and they've been getting their job, you know, their end of the bargain. They've been getting that done. The Texas offense in swoops is like, all right, it's putting the fire in his court. It's like, hey, okay, so the defense is doing their job, holding Baylor to 28 points. Are you kidding?
Yeah, I mean,
all right,
one of those,
let's go.
One of those touchdowns was off of a blocked field goal. So Baylor's offense scored 21 points on Texas defense. So anytime you can hold Baylor to 21, I mean, you're doing something right, you know? So,
absolutely, you are.
I agree with everything that's been said so far. I don't think there's really anything left. Tyrone Swoops will be feeling the pressure and to score.
Yes. Red River Shootout, as it used to be called, has tons of traditions of crazy kickoff returns, punt returns. Guys, anything on the Texas special teams that you've seen? Last week, obviously, kind of had that blunder at the beginning of the game. Do you see that kind of coming back?
Well, it's a little scary if I'm Texas because, oh my goodness, she scared me.
Hello.
There you go, horns.
Hello. All right. Yes.
Go Sooners.
We got some good-looking fans over here.
Oh my goodness. Is it hot out here?
Texas,
just her.
Texas special teams. Let's
I need to undo.
Come on. Texas special teams. What do you
I need a fan.
Texas special teams. I'm focusing.
Here we go. Football.
Okay, football. Back to football.
I got love for
special
you.
Teams. Well, OU blocked 2 kicks.
There you go.
And they returned one blocked extra point back. They returned it back for 2 points. So if I'm Texas, I need to shore up my protection scheme because OU's coming for it.
Yeah, they are. Matt, you got anything?
I don't have anything.
Yeah,
I'm distracted.
I'm just trying to think of the last year that OU special teams made as many plays as they've had so far this year. You know, with kickoff returns, blocked kicks, blocked extra points. I can't really go back that far and think. So it's been kind of, I think, one of the dimensions of their team that they really didn't know about coming into the year, and it's really paid off, and it's been a strength of their team.
Yeah.
Hey, Alex Ross, too, didn't get any chances at kickoff returns last week. That's got to be a factor. Teams starting to take notice.
Well, yeah,
they should.
They should. We said it before the game. We're like, teams still kick to him, and I don't understand why. Well, TCU obviously watched our show because they didn't kick to him at all.
Had some trick plays ready for him, too.
Had some trick plays ready
the
for him.
laying down.
He was camouflaged in the end zone.
It was me and you, right? Yeah. We were sitting right. We were standing right in that the pile.
And we're just like, what is this guy doing? Is he trying to do push-ups in the middle of the play?
I'll tell you what, Quentin Hayes made a heck of a play, though. He might have gone 50 yards, but he would have got 100 without Q making that big stop.
It's very true.
He would have. Yeah, he would have. There's some talks even. I've heard some last week, some grumblings in the TCU camp of a speedster by the name of Trayvon Boykin jumping in the return game. Who knows? Is Tyrone Swoops?
They got a big game today.
Swooping in.
Yeah, they got a big game.
No, don't see it.
TCU?
I don't either.
Yeah, they got a big game
or
against
not
Baylor.
That kind of athlete.
Yeah, today's tomorrow.
Today is Friday.
As Rebecca Black would say, it's Friday.
Yep. Right. That's right.
Hey, well,
what are we talking about?
Billy.
Yeah, we're talking about two
Hey, do you
different
even
things.
know what's going on?
We're getting a conversation over here. You guys are having a conversation.
We're having our own show.
Hey,
Hey, over here.
Yeah. So ask him how many
Cody
fingers
Matt's corner.
you're holding
Matt,
up.
how many fingers am I holding up?
18?
18.
Okay. He got it.
Something like that.
He's here.
That's you.
Hey, I'm still, I'm in another world right now.
Although those Oklahoma
And
fans
that corny
will do
dog.
it to you. Right, man?
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
Oklahoma fans will do that to you.
Yes, they will. Yes,
We're a couple space cadets over here, folks. We don't know what is happening.
When we come back,
Thank you.
let's get it to break,
Let's get to break. Hey, Billy Currington said it best. Must be doing something right. That's what Texas is doing. But on the defensive side of the ball, can they step up the game on the offense? We'll see that tomorrow in the Red River Showdown. But when we come back, we're getting back to our New York Pizza Trivia Question of the Week. Looking back at the crazy week that was college football last weekend and going around the nation this week. And all that and more coming up from the State Fair of Texas on GamedayU.
Deep in the heart of Texas.
Man, I am hungry.
Yeah, I could go for some chicken.
Hi, welcome to Edison Canes. What can I get for you today?
I'll have the box combo. I'll get the three-finger combo.
I'll take the caniac combo.
I'll take the sandwich combo.
All right, we'll have that right up for you.
Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, located in Adams Residence Hall of the OU campus.
This newscast to bring you this severe weather forecast issued by the United States Weather Bureau at Elmville. Towering thunderheads have appeared.
Tornado about a mile east of the Winton Pumping Station.
Clouds become unusually threatening. It is wise to take every possible precaution.
I originally got into meteorology because I was afraid of storms. I was scared to death of storms when I was little. I would sleep with my lights on, watch the radar. I was always scared that lightning was going to strike my house. And then I was afraid of tornadoes for a long time. And so I became really passionate about meteorology. When I got to high school, I found out meteorology existed as a major. I had no idea. And when I visited OU for the first time, I had a tour, and I basically fell in love with this place. The person who gave me my tour was just, absolutely amazing. And, he's become one of my closest friends, advisors, professors here. Now I give tours because obviously I'm passionate about what I do here. I love teaching people about meteorology, and since one of my long-term goals is to become a professor and teach, and it seems perfect to me that, I get experience teaching other people as much as I can. If I'm doing what makes me happy, I want to help other people find what makes them happy, something that they're good at and passionate about. And so I think, as a professor, I have an opportunity to make a difference in other people's lives. College is a chance to really forget all of those things that you're afraid of and just kind of put yourself out there and meet new people and make new friends and really grow, grow up.
To Game Day, you were having too much fun here.
Too much.
There is such a thing. I knew it.
At
We're
the
having
State Fair
it.
of Texas, who knew?
Yeah.
Well, hey, Game Day U live, State Fair of Texas. OU Texas is tomorrow. Mason thought it was OU Baylor last segment.
Yeah.
Space
Woo.
Cadet up in the air here. You're way up at the top of that Texas Power Needle.
My mind is already on that chicken. I'm going to go get some more. So.
Well, we are joined by the lovely Ashley from Crandall, Texas. Ashley, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Well, Ashley, we're going to have a question for you, and if you get the question right, You get, if I can do my math, there's 10 tickets here.
Coupons.
You get 10
Coupons.
coupons. How they go? You guys made a song earlier, didn't a little rap?
No, we were rapping earlier, but no.
It's a tough question, though.
Okay, our New York Pizza Trivia question of the week is, both head coaches in the 2014 edition of the AT&T Red River Showdown previously served as assistants at Florida. Under which current college football head coach?
Bob Stoops and Charlie Strong.
So who was the
I guess we're about to see. Steve Spurrier?
Steve Spurrier! The old coach!
Ashley knows her football.
10 coupons. Texas.
Yes.
Ashley wins that. Ashley, also, take us through this. How many years have you been coming to this? First year? What's it like?
Since I was a kid. I probably came almost every year. Since I was,
wow.
Yeah.
And were we right in that there's too much fun to be had here?
Yeah, I completely agree.
What's your favorite thing to do here?
Eat the food, of course.
Eat the food. What's your favorite food, though? Because we just ate ours.
Okay, well, I just tried the fried cookie dough.
Oh, fried cookie dough. Game changer.
Hard to beat.
Fried cake ball. Cake ball.
No, I had one, so I'm good. I'm good.
Okay.
It was amazing, though. Yeah.
Good. Oh my God. Heck yeah.
Is there anything you want to try? That you've gone around the booth, you're like, well, that's really bad for me, but I'm gonna have it.
Bubble gum.
Oh,
fried bubble gum.
I saw that too. Yeah, the fried.
That sounds like it could be an experience more than
like what's more chewy, the bubble gum or the fried part?
Probably the gum. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with
not the
gum.
bread.
Back to you, Zach.
Are you gonna ride your rides here?
No,
Oh, we got around the nation, right?
No.
Nah.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, Ashley, thanks for joining us.
Thank
Crandall,
you for having
Texas.
me. Yeah.
Home of the what's Crandall's mascot?
The Pirates.
The Mighty Fighting Pirates.
Yeah.
As Mason would
Scurvy.
say.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah.
Hey guys, so we're going to take a look back at last week before we look ahead to this week. First of all, it was an historic week last week. There was teams bounced from every which way in the top 25, whether that was in the top 10, in the top 5. There was undefeateds going down. There was one-loss teams going to two-loss teams. There was it all. Drew, what stood out to you last week that made it such a unique week of college football?
I mean, obviously, the thing that stands out most to me right now is obviously you have the two teams tied at number 3, the Ole Miss and the Mississippi State. But it just seems like this trend that we've been seeing in college football is that parity is becoming more and more prevalent throughout the course of college football. So many different coaches have talked about it. Everybody's getting better. And when everybody gets better, anything can happen on any given Saturday. And it makes it more fun, honestly. If you're a college football fan, obviously you don't want your team, if your team's a perennial powerhouse, losing over and over again. But, I mean, watching Ole Miss take down Alabama, watching Arizona take down Oregon, all those unexpected upsets, it's fantastic to watch, and it makes for good TV. And guess what? It keeps coming again as this Saturday. More and more of those games continue to pop up.
Yeah, we talked about it last week. One of our 4-down questions is the state of Mississippi the best state for college football this year? And I think they darn near proved it last week. The goalposts were carried out of the stadium in Oxford, Mississippi. The fans repaid for any damage. New goalposts this week. Let's just say, I'll tell you what, I want to be a Mississippi fan.
Yeah.
I might transfer my loyalty after this. You know what?
Yeah.
This game's going to be fun tomorrow, but are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That's some fun right there. Guys, let's jump into this week.
Yeah.
Biggest games on the schedule. They're all around.
My gosh.
We're going to start and save the best for last. We're starting with number 13, Georgia, at number 23, Missouri.
SEC East.
Kickoff is at 11 a.m. No Todd Gurley in action.
No Todd.
And Gary
Gurley.
Pinkel has the chance to knock down a powerhouse Bulldog team, even without Gurley.
I think and I think Pinkel does it. I think Pinkel gets this win. Missouri is at home. They're number 23 in the nation. And
who's going to get it done? Missouri?
Missouri's going to get it done, I think. I think Todd Gurley just hurts this team by not being in uniform.
That's a big shot. That's your offense right there. I mean, that's the big part of your offense. That's a big shot. What is it, Matty Mock?
Yep. Hey, you got it.
I don't say it wrong.
That's about as hard as Red River rivalry.
Matty Mock's going to get it done down there. I mean, it's going to carry Missouri. Missouri had a little bit of a hiccup early on in the season, but this is going to be a big win for them if they can get it done.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, both these teams have one loss. So you look at it in the SEC East, who's going to win that division? I mean, both those teams are tied at the top. So, I mean, 2 losses, 3 losses. I mean, how many are they going to end up with? I think whoever plays the SEC West champion in Atlanta at the end of the year is probably going to have 3 losses.
Yeah.
You got to believe.
Hey, guys,
they will.
another big game that might not necessarily be the tipping point of the day, but still big nonetheless. We're going out to the Pac-12. Number 12, Oregon. Number 18, UCLA. The kickoff is at 2:30 p.m. And this game has some huge implications, even though both teams lost last week.
Yeah, I think Oregon gets this done. I think by the end of the season, you're going to see Oregon back up there in the top 5. They're going to get back
Work
there.
their way back in.
They'll work their way back in. They're too good of a team year-round. And I think the playoff benefits a team like Oregon the most out of anybody because they are the kind of people who, if they get to the big game, can never get it done. But if they work their way there and go through the playoff and go through that hard Pac-12 schedule, I think it's going to work out.
So you think Oregon? Is that what you said?
I think Oregon's got it.
I don't know. I mean, UCLA has a lot of weapons there. You know, they show that they're not as dominant as how everybody expected them to be. A lot of people expected them to be a top 4 or 5 team. They're definitely not, but they have that capability with Brett Hundley in there.
No, definitely.
Oregon's just as good, though. Oregon has Marcus Mariota. I mean, you know, they're not the worst team in the country now that they lost 1 game, just like Oklahoma's not the worst team in the country after losing last weekend.
Right.
But watch out. UCLA could very well get this win tomorrow.
Yeah, no, definitely.
They're at home.
I agree with you.
They're in Los Angeles.
I mean, we watched them play Arizona, and we watched how susceptible that offensive line is.
Yes.
The pass rush. And they couldn't even run the ball.
No.
So,
no.
And then with UCLA, you have Brett Hundley. You have versus Marcus Mariota.
Yeah.
2 of the preseason Heisman favorites, and probably 2 of the best quarterbacks in the Pac-12.
Yeah.
So I look for this to probably be a high-scoring game. Maybe
I agree.
High 30s.
You know, there might be a couple scores from UCLA's special teams. They're a pretty good kickoff return team too. Against Arizona State, they did it twice, ran it back. So watch out for that. That's a big, positive for this team.
Debatably the biggest game in the SEC West matchup Saturday afternoon. We got number 2 Auburn and Nick Marshall heading out to Starksville to take on Dak Prescott, Dan Mullen, and those upstart Bulldogs. Guys, are the Cowbells too much?
Matt's favorite team.
For the Tigers.
How much is too much? How much are
the Cowbells
too much?
Yeah. Yes. I'm sorry. Yeah, this is going to be a great.
Prescott gets it done.
I think Prescott gets it done. I think they really are this good. They cruise past Texas A&M. Cruise past that. I really do think they're the real deal.
Yeah, I mean,
really do.
I keep trying to find ways to say,
know.
oh, that's just fluke. They're not going to be there. They're going to lose.
It's early
2
on
games,
this season.
3
That's
games.
why they're doing so well.
Man, they looked great against A&M. I'm telling you.
They sure did.
They shut them down. So I think they continue roll. I don't think they'll roll Auburn. I think it'll be a very good game.
I agree.
But I think the home field advantage, and like you said, those Cowbells will probably put them over the top.
Yeah, Mississippi State is the sexy pick. They're number 3 in the nation, but they're picked to. They're not the favorite for this game. I got Auburn. I think Auburn is a built team, and they are built for tough. But we're in Texas, right?
Built for tough.
So I think Auburn goes in this game, runs for about 300 yards, and just keeps their foot on the pedal all game long. It's going to be a close game, but I think Nick Marshall and that Auburn offense.
They've seen their fair share of bright lights before.
They have.
Yeah, right.
And a game that all of us picked last week that probably we were wrong, and this game wouldn't have had as big of implications, but that is number 9 TCU making the jump from 25 all the way in 1 week.
Wow.
Going to Baylor, Waco, to face the number 5 Baylor Bears. Kickoff 2:30, guys. Does Bryce Petty have a repeat performance against a tough TCU defense, or does Boykin just run all over the place?
I mean TCU is a tough defense when they put
They
out
are.
5 defensive backs out there, especially when they can play them down in the box. But we need Baylor to win.
Yes,
this
as
game.
OU,
We need Baylor to win
OU
this game.
faithful, the OU
So,
clad.
and I think being at home, that brand new stadium, I like the Bears in this one.
Yeah, I think they saw a really good Texas defense last weekend, made the necessary preparations to go in there and face that really good TCU defense, who's especially good, who's particularly good at stopping the run. No, I think it's going to be good. I think they're going to be in Waco, that brand new stadium.
Yeah.
I think they get it done against TCU, but it's not going to be the easiest game.
But then again, you look at last week.
Right.
Gary Patterson always has some tricks up his sleeve. So
Always.
never discounted
Always.
Gary Patterson coach team.
They have the magic right now.
Yeah, I got Baylor. I'm not taking TCU in this game. OU should have won that game they had all the turnovers they needed to win that game. OU just straight up choked. Let's leave it at that, folks. Baylor wins this game. They're the better team. and Bryce Petty is not going to have a game like he had last week.
Performance.
Yes.
Well, there you go. So we're looking at November matchup against OU and Baylor possibly being as big as it might have looked at like it was going to be early on in the preseason. But one more game that we're going to talk about real quick, or actually a few more games we're going to talk about, but let's talk about Texas A&M having nightmares and licking their wounds after Dak Prescott took it to them. But another Mississippi team coming out, an emotional one at Alabama. Can they stay motivated enough going to Kyle Field and take on Kevin Sumlin's squad?
Number 1 defense in the nation, Ole Miss against the number 1 offense
They're
in the nation, Texas A&M.
Yep.
It's going to be fun. It's hard to pick this game because you want to go with defense. You want to say Ole Miss, after that win last week, is riding high, and they're going to come in and do the exact same thing. I don't know. Kenny Trill, I like him a lot, and I like A&M. I like Matt's boys over at A&M. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna take A&M at this one at home.
There you go.
I really want to jump on the Ole Miss bandwagon. I really do, and I gave some love to Bo Wallace, the quarterback, last week. I'm just still not convinced. He's still so inconsistent, and they're sitting at number 3. I don't know if he can keep his a consistent pace. I still think he might have a hiccup, and it might be at that really, really loud Kyle Field this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm going to have to go Ole Miss. I just think that defense makes plays when they need to. Very, very good.
Do you put all your eggs in the basket for Bo Wallace, though?
I mean, it's tough, but I don't think Texas A&M defense is very good.
True.
I think they were good at the start of the year when they were playing.
Boise's wasn't very good,
when they were playing, these questionable teams. But you look at the past couple of weeks, Arkansas and Mississippi State, they were able to do whatever they wanted on that defense. So I just got to think, I just have to ride with that defense right now, that Ole Miss defense, and I think they go into Kyle Field and get it done.
Let's be honest, too.
Tough placement.
Let's be honest,
There
too.
you go.
There's
Very
ever
tough.
a
Very
team
tough.
that's coming off an emotional high, it's Ole Miss.
Oh, absolutely.
And going into an environment like Texas A&M, that's going to be hard to follow up a win like they had last week, if anything.
No doubt.
A couple other games that have some major implications for the college football playoff. Number 7 Alabama goes to Mason's mighty Fighting Arkansas
Pig suey! I'm telling you right now, Arkansas is going to knock someone off this season, and it is going to be Alabama. 50th anniversary of the 1964 National Championship. Arkansas Razorbacks, Jimmy Johnson, Jerry Jones are going to be in the house.
Some good people right
They're
there.
wearing the throwback uniforms, the old hog on the helmet. Alex Collins and the Hogs are going to finally knock off Nick Saban and the Crimson Tide. It's going to be a close one. Give me the Hogs. Give me the Hogs in Fayetteville.
You ready? Let's go Hogs again. All right, now stop.
Oh, man, come on.
Alabama's coming for you.
Sorry.
No, I'm sorry. It's not going to happen.
Tell me the last time Nick Saban lost 2 games in a row.
Yeah, I don't remember.
It doesn't happen.
Exactly.
It doesn't happen. So
I want to wear the pig snout with you, but I don't think I can.
Did you guys hear the fan who went on the Paul Feinbaum show? Or was it
the
Colin
Epic
Cowherd?
rant.
Yeah,
No, that
Epic
was his
rant.
Feinbaum.
It was
Yeah.
on Feinbaum.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
The Alabama dynasty is not done? What are you talking about?
Oh, man.
Calling counter.
Sounds like there's a lot of pressure and a lot to lose if you're Alabama. The Hogs, on the other hand, they're looking to win each and every game that they're going to face. Because
they do.
What do they have to lose?
Nothing at all. They
And
still
they
have
have-
to run the gauntlet. in
They
the
have,
SEC West.
they have 2 amazing running backs as well.
Yes.
That can get it done. I don't know. I still can't.
And
I can't imagine Alabama losing a second game in
that's
a row.
right. And Brett Bielema is still looking for that first SEC win.
I know.
So,
I know.
There you go.
I don't think he's
They're
going to
lurking.
Hogs
They're
will
lurking.
never yield.
Well, finally,
They're
we go back out to the Pac-12, a game that in the preseason schedule didn't look all that important, but Rich Rodriguez got the Arizona Wildcats playing extremely well. If they go undefeated, then we're talking about some serious upsets, but they got another big test against Steve Sarkisian and those Trojans. Guys, who you taking, Arizona, USC?
Isn't it funny how college football plays out? At the beginning of the season, USC was in the top 25. Everyone's thinking, USC's back, baby. Here they come. Well, now they're unranked in the Arizona Wildcats. This is not basketball. In the
This
top
is real life.
Scooby Snack, man. Where's Raggy? That's what I'm thinking. I got Arizona. USC is not a very good team to me, and I think Arizona is a better team. Give me Arizona.
I'm sorry, but
Climb
I'm
the
going to have to
charts.
go with the upset, I guess. Isn't
USC.
It?
It's
I'm
an
going
upset.
with USC. Cody Kessler. He
There
can
you
get it
go.
done. He's got a slew of receivers to throw to. I gotta think that he's able to get past Arizona. Look, don't make that number 10. It's too shiny. I know, but Don't mistake that.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're not that great.
I mean,
still Rich Rod.
What are those fans in Ann Arbor thinking about Rich Rod right now?
Yeah, no kidding.
Top 10 Arizona team.
Darn.
They're just thinking, wait till this season blows up in his face in about 2 weeks.
They're thinking Zoinks, Shaggy. That's what they're thinking. Yeah.
No, but I got a USC.
You got USC?
Okay.
2 USC. Mason, you're going out on a limb here. Let's hope the limb don't
On
break.
a limb, picking the number 10 team in the nation. Are you kidding me?
No,
At home.
Besides Arizona, Arkansas, that's going out on a limb.
Yeah, Arkansas is going out on a limb, but
it's not really though.
Hey,
they played tough.
I picked Arkansas against A&M, and they gave them a run for their money. They had the game won until they.
But as you would say, a win's a win.
A win's a win. Absolutely.
When we come back, we're looking at the overall aspect of what OU Texas is going to be and play out tomorrow, the matchup between the two teams, as well as OU, the offense, defense, special teams, the whole 9 yards, all coming up on Game Day U.
Hey,
Go for some chicken.
Hi, welcome to Raising Cane's. What can I get for you today?
I'll have the box combo. I'll get the 3-finger combo.
I'll take the Caniac combo.
I'll take the sandwich combo.
All right, we'll have that right up for you.
Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, located in Adams Residence Hall of the OU campus.
This newscast to bring you this severe weather forecast issued by the United States Weather Bureau at Elmville. Towering thunderheads have appeared.
Tornado about a mile east of the Winton Pumping Station.
Clouds become unusually threatening. It is wise to take every possible precaution.
I originally got into meteorology because I was afraid of storms. I was scared to death of storms when I was little. I would sleep with my lights on, watch the radar. I was always scared that lightning was going to strike my house. And then I was afraid of tornadoes for a long time. And so I became really passionate about meteorology. When I got to high school, I found out meteorology existed as a major. I had no idea. And when I visited OU for the first time, I had a tour, and I basically fell in love with this place. The person who gave me my tour was just, absolutely amazing. And, he's become one of my closest friends, advisors, professors here. Now I give tours because obviously I'm passionate about what I do here. I love teaching people about meteorology, and since one of my long-term goals is to become a professor and teach, and it seems perfect to me that, I get experience teaching other people as much as I can. If I'm doing what makes me happy, I want to help other people find what makes them happy, something that they're good at and passionate about. And so I think it would, as a professor, I have an opportunity to make a difference in other people's lives. College is a chance to really forget all of those things that you're afraid of and just kind of put yourself out there and meet new people and make new friends and really grow. Grow up.
GamedayU live from the State Fair of Texas.
What up, State Fair?
Oklahoma and Texas kicking off at 11 a.m. tomorrow morning. That's a little early for some of us, but we are going to be up and ready.
Yeah.
Up and ready?
Yeah.
You were pointing out the fried breakfast sandwich that's
there you
new
go.
at the fair this year.
Get up and get your fried breakfast burrito, deep fried breakfast for dinner burrito. It's got 8 ingredients: sausage, bacon, eggs, onions, all the works, even some cinnamon roll bites. In it. It's just ridiculous. 3 different dipping sauces. Get up, get that, get you to football game, man.
And get on down to the state fair.
That's right.
Get on down.
Well, guys, we're going to take a look at the matchup with Texas. There's a lot of history. We've talked about that earlier in the show. The past OU-Texas games, OU 3-1 in the last 4, including a whopping 55-17 blowout a few years back. Guys, how does OU handle the Longhorns this year?
Key to the game.
My key to the game is going to be Tyrone Swoops.
There you go.
He is the key to the game for the Texas Longhorns. If he has a great game, then OU's in trouble. If he comes in and acts how young and plays how young he is, then I think OU will run away with this one. But I think Tyrone Swoops is the key to the game.
My key to the game is the other quarterback, Trevor Knight. He's got to play a good game tomorrow. He can't play like he did against TCU, only completing 40% of all of his passes. He's got to be able to make completions down the field and give them a chance. And that's going to be hard against this defense.
Yeah, I agree. I think whoever establishes the running game and keeps it going throughout the game, I think will win the game. I think that will be the key.
And like you said, Cody, I think it's like over 80% of the time, whoever rushes for more yards in the OU-Texas rivalry wins the game. So there you go. Great key to the game. So let's see, okay, so we talked about this earlier. Obviously, big rivalry game. Everybody comes out. They start hitting pads, coming out with a different fire in their eyes. But let's be realistic. When does that adrenaline from being in the State Fair of Texas wear off, and when do these guys start calming down and just playing football? I've heard sometimes it's after that first hit. Sometimes it's until they're running out of gas in the fourth quarter. When do you think it'll be?
I don't know.
I think it's after the first hit. I think both these teams are going to come in. They're going to be juiced, ready to go, and someone's on that first kickoff. Someone's going to get hit a little harder than they would like, and they're going to be like, "Oh, that's right. I'm playing college football."
It's only 11 a.m.
Yeah,
wow,
it's only 11 a.m.
I don't think it's the first hit. I think it's the first drive for most teams. I think you got to go from one end zone, experience, those fans, then you get down to the other side, and you experience the opposing fans or, the home fans, whatever. It's after that first drive maybe you can start settling in and getting a little bit comfortable.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's after the first drive because you think of all the...
Get into that groove thing?
You think of all the young guys that both teams will be playing on both sides of the ball. Most of them haven't played in an environment like this, whether that's high school or some of them were redshirt freshmen last year, freshmen that didn't get a play, and to be coming into this environment. And like I said earlier, you don't get the feel of it from just TV. No. You have to be here. You have to experience it. And once you get in there, see the 50-yard line divided, burnt orange, red. Yeah. It's a spectacle.
It is a spectacle.
Yeah. Hey guys, also, there's a lot to be made of the future of OU football as OU fans just hit the panic button. If that was
the sky's falling.
The panic button.
Yeah, that's the. That's our.
That was the panic button.
Oh.
Hey.
Zing.
Hey.
Well, that was a good one, Mason.
I'm here all week.
Anyway, the future of OU football. They fell to TCU last week, 37-33, as many people well know. And, some Sooner fans might not even know there's a game because they just tuned out everything for the rest of the season. But not the case. How important is this, the Red River Showdown, for OU this year, Cody?
Very important because you got to keep on winning, right?
Yeah. I mean, they already have. They suffered that one loss versus TCU.
That's all you're allowed.
And with the new playoff, one loss isn't going to kill you.
No.
But 2 losses will kill you.
Yes.
So, and you can't get 2 this early when you have the likes of K-State and a Baylor coming up later in the season.
Right.
So, I think they'll be fine. The future of OU football will be fine.
Yeah.
It's just they have to take care of business 1 week at a time and not listen to those. You're the one number one, blah, blah, blah. So they just got to take care of business.
Yeah, it happened at the perfect time. It happened on the weekend where everybody lost in the top 25 just about. So like you said, they're not out, but this game is big because it's another win. If you get down and you get beat by a 2-3 team, you're done for the season. I'm sorry, the Baylor game means nothing.
Nope.
The Texas Tech game means nothing. Oklahoma State means nothing now. Win tonight. Win tomorrow.
The way I'm looking at this is you got to look at this like you're in March Madness. I know we're talking basketball, but hear me out.
We're talking football.
Yeah, we're talking football, but I'm going to use basketball. You win, you survive in advance. If OU wins out, they're going to be in the college football playoff. They need to treat this a week at a time. I know it's coach speak, but you win and you're in. That's all OU needs to think. Survive and advance. Okay, we got Texas this week. Win next. Who we got? Kansas State. We're going to keep moving on.
It doesn't matter how, just win.
Week by week. That's all it's going to take.
Mason preaching the same thing Coach Stoops has been preaching.
Yeah.
But let's go back to something that Matt started to hit on here. Obviously, the Red River Showdown springboards teams through the rest of their season. Whether they win or lose can be the beginning or the end. Maybe you start sliding, maybe you start escalating as you go forward. But what is the rest of the season shaping up? What does it look like for the Sooners? Obviously, you still have K-State on the schedule for homecoming, another ranked team. Baylor's going to come to town later on. Maybe a potential trap game with Iowa State, who always tends to find a team where they upset, especially in Iowa. So what do you guys think? Rest of the season still look okay for the Sooners going forward?
Yes, because they have a lot of ranked matches, like you just said. That's the best thing for them. It's not like they're and they lost early too. It's not like they're losing. If they lost to Baylor, like let's say that they lost or they won last weekend and then they lost to Baylor, well that's it. We know that's the end of the season. Now we know, hey, we're not done. We're not done. And the schedule works out in our favor too. Besides that one on the road in Lubbock against Tech.
Yeah.
That's the only one that doesn't work out in our favor.
Yeah, and like you said, there's still time to impress. The season's not over. So I mean, there's still a bunch of time. Don't lose faith. Don't lose hope. Don't jump off the bandwagon. Just stay the course and they'll be fine.
Well, right now the Oklahoma State Cowboys are the Oklahoma Sooners' best friends because they keep winning and keep playing hard. If OSU if they keep climbing the charts, that game in December, that first week of December, automatically means something now. At the beginning of the season, you thought, what is it? OSU, who? They're young, they're inexperienced. It's going to be a down year for them. Yeah, Coach Gundy doesn't think so, and I like the way he's.
You transitioned me perfectly. I was just going to say, you have teams like Baylor goes in. Let's say Baylor loses this weekend, and Oklahoma beats Baylor. That's 2 losses for Baylor right on the schedule. You throw in Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State beats TCU down the line. Throw in an upset against Iowa State team who beats TCU. There's 2 losses for TCU. Oklahoma runs the table, beat an Oklahoma State team who's beat a TCU team at that point. There's so many scenarios.
A Big 12 champion has a very good shot of going to the playoffs.
We read this stat earlier, not on air, but I was reading it earlier. The Big 12 is the only conference in college football to have half of their conference in the top 20. That works out well for
50%.
Yeah, 50%.
And you look at the start of the year, they had 2 ranked teams.
Yeah.
Everyone thought, oh, the Big 12 is going to be down. Will the Big 12 even get a team in? Blah, blah, blah. Saying some stuff. So you look at it now, it really does bode well. They're up there.
Yeah.
You have half the conference ranked in the top 25.
Yeah. And not only that, the teams that aren't ranked, West Virginia played real well against Alabama.
That's another team throwing a West Virginia team.
Yeah.
TCU goes out to Morgantown.
Absolutely.
That's not an easy place to play.
No,
that's
so
a
very
hostile
possible that
environment
this
right
conference
there,
kind of tears itself to shreds, and anybody can come out on top at the end of it all. So.
This is the college football playoff committee did exactly what they wanted to do. They created a scenario that turned college football, flipped it on its head, and gave college football fans December madness.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's what they gave them.
That's what they did.
And it's going to be something to see throughout the rest of the season. You talk about each conference can beat each other up. The SEC West, they're going to do it week in and week out.
Right.
2 more huge games on the schedule. We've already talked about that. You got the Big 12 week in and week out. Morgantown, West Virginia, that's a tough place to play. Oklahoma State, Dax Garmin.
It works out for college football just great because every game does mean something. Even a loss means something, and it doesn't mean your season's over. Back in the early 2000s, if people would have lost one game, you can kiss your national title hopes goodbye.
That's it. You're
done.
done.
You can lose one game, and you're still in the hunt.
Yes.
And that's what's great.
Yeah, and it's good that the Big 12 is this powerful right now because I remember at the beginning of the season we were saying that the SEC West was going to pick each other apart, and that's where the SEC team in the playoff is going to come from. And, yes, they're going to have 1, maybe even 2 losses.
Yeah.
Now it's looking like in the Big 12, the winner out of there might have, unless Baylor goes undefeated, but they still like all this. They have all those scenarios, like you said. Now it's looking like the Big 12 champion's going to come out with 1 loss, and they're still going to be really good.
Yeah. Cody, is there a conference that you look at that says, wow, they have they're going to beat each other up, but there's a team in there that's really going to make a run, and they're going to go all the way, maybe even make a run at a title?
I mean, I really can't think of anything like with the start. SEC gets all the love. I don't think anybody in the SEC East is very good. I think obviously the SEC West is very good. They're just going to beat up on each other. But it's now the Pac-12, all those teams, Oregon, UCLA starting to lose. Big 12, some of those teams are starting to lose except for Baylor. So I really don't see one clear cut. I think the only team that will probably come out of their conference undefeated is Florida State.
I still think Oregon wins out, and they're in. I think they win out and they're in. They're in the same boat OU is.
Yeah.
But again, so many tests for Oregon on the way down. UCLA this week. Oregon State always plays them tough. I mean, anything can happen. Arizona State, we saw what they did to
absolutely
USC last week. So, I mean, that's the great thing about college football this season, especially, is we talked about a little bit earlier. There's parity. Nobody knows what's going to happen. We could have 4 teams all with 2 losses, and there would just be. It would be insane, and that's what we want. At the end of the day, that's what we want. That's good TV. That's entertainment. That's why we watch the game. Is to see the unexpected.
Exactly.
Well, when we come back on Game Day U, we're going to take a look at the OU offense and the OU defense, what makes them special, unique, and capable of beating the Longhorns tomorrow. As around the nation, there's a lot of games, and for the Sooners, it starts tomorrow. The rest of the year, it's a new slate after their loss to TCU last week. Big rivalry game tomorrow against the Longhorns, and we're breaking down the Sooners coming up next.
Go for some chicken.
Hi, welcome to Raising Cane's. What can I get for you today?
I'll have the box combo. I'll get the 3-finger combo.
I'll take the Caniac combo.
I'll take the sandwich combo.
All right, we'll have that right up for you.
Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, located in Adams Residence Hall of the OU campus.
The average American uses over 100 gallons of water a day. An impoverished African uses 5. Rwanda is made up of 5 provinces, most of which are rural and lacking clean water. It's a landlocked country with 4 major lakes and connected to some of the largest river tributaries in Africa. It sees nearly 31 inches of rainfall a year, which made us wonder why people weren't getting water.
To find out how you can help, go to wishforwater.com.
My name is Andrew Belleville. I'm in double major in economics and international business with a minor in Chinese, and I'm from Columbia, Maryland. I think that Oklahoma is a land of opportunities. If you've ever heard President Borden speak, you will hear him talk about how the first president, President Boyd, stepped off the train and saw Oklahoma. It was the first time he'd ever seen it, and just said, what possibilities, like this is a land of possibilities. And I really think that that's still true today. There's just so many things going on campus and so many different possibilities and things to get involved in. I really like the international feel that they have at OU. There are lots of international students, and international business and international area studies are some of our strongest programs. It has definitely taught me to see possibilities and opportunities that I maybe didn't have my mind open to before. One of the biggest opportunities that I've run across has been being an RA. I'm a resident advisor in the residence halls, so that definitely takes up a lot of my time. It's a part-time job, but it helps me pay for college. It's definitely a lot of responsibility. You're kind of responsible for like 1,500 people all at once. That's how many people live in Adams. You're supposed to make sure that everybody's safe all the time and be ready to handle any situation as soon as it comes up. But it's definitely a lot of fun, and I'm getting a lot of experience out of it. It's definitely changed my life.
Yeah, happy birthday!
I love being an RA because I get to hang out with my residents, my freshmen, all the time. They're like my kids, but freshmen are, it's their first year here on campus, so they're ready to just discover everything that OU has for them, and they just have a unique way of looking at life, and they see opportunities. They're so energetic, and they keep me young, definitely. OU just has some really incredible people that I don't think I would have met anywhere else. I always feel like there's some new person to meet. I've made some really long-lasting, lifelong friendships here.
Welcome back to Game Day U live from the State Fair of Texas in the heart of Big D, Dallas.
Deep in the heart of Texas.
Triple D.
Dude,
dirty Dallas.
Has Nashville given you a call?
They have. They have. I said,
He turned him
no,
down
I'm
because he's
sorry.
doing this show.
What?
Said you turned him down because you're doing this show.
Yeah, I told
no, Game Day U.
I told
We owned your rights.
There you go.
Yeah, exactly. And my likeness. find your Mason Prince T-shirts at GamedayU.com.
They're signed and everything. We have a proof of it. But jumping back into things, the OU offense struggled, to say the least, last week, and our own Drew Farley took a look at one of the celebrities who couldn't quite get Trevor Knight on the path to righteousness.
Some of it is very fundamental in what we do, and for whatever reason, even guys with a lot of experience didn't do it very well. And so we got to do a better job coaching them, and they've got to do a better job being mindful of their disciplines and what we're doing.
Even Katy Perry's well wishes couldn't help Trevor Knight against TCU. The student quarterback struggled, completing only 14 of his 36 passing attempts and relying heavily on Sterling Shepard to carry the load. Going into Texas, the stakes get even higher as there's talk about executing, progressing, and staying mentally sharp, aspects that seem to be lacking last week for the first time all season.
They're big, strong, physical up in the front seven, especially the front four. So it's another huge test. It'll be a physical ball game. Obviously, you play in this game. We talk about runs and completions. That's a big part of it. Just possessing the ball in our playmakers' hands. We got to win the turnover battle, and we got to play smart in every other area.
They play fast and they play physical. It's just something we're going to have to adjust to. But we've faced some physical defenses up to this point. So, we get to see it every week.
We need to just be consistent all over. We got to, we've been doing a great job of running the ball, but then, that doesn't mean that we can stop running the ball. We need to keep running, we need to pass, we need to do both and be consistent on both of them.
I think guys are motivated more so. Coming off a loss, it's always heartbreaking. Especially when we're around here at OU and we wear the OU on our chest, on our helmets, and we're Sooners, and we put our being into this.
Well, the hope is to expand the role of some other wide receivers in the passing game and get them more involved in Knight's progression across the field.
No, it's absolutely necessary. Sterling Shepard carried this offense on his back last week. They couldn't run the ball. They stretched it deep early, but once they figured him out and they started pushing the safeties closer and closer to him, playing him tougher, Kevin White, extremely talented corner, on him all night long. Trevor Knight needs more targets. Yes, he could improve his accuracy. Yes, he can continue to improve his own game, but they need more weapons out there in the passing attack, some bigger weapons maybe. But let's slide to the right real quick because Matt has even more on the passing game.
I have more on the passing game. That's right. Well, Trevor Knight needs to step it up. 40% last weekend's not good. Like you said, I don't really have much more to add, just that he needs more weapons. Deron Neal's trying. He's trying out there, but Sterling Shepard's the only one that's really going out there. We haven't heard much from KJ Young
Talk about
at
a
all.
little bit about the completion percentage. Low 50s for a good offense. They're usually in the mid-60s, upper 60s.
Sure, he's thrown for over 1,000 yards, but so's just about everybody else in the country by this time of the season. Jeffrey Mead needs to get in there, maybe get some more meat, maybe drink some milk or something.
They have a stable in there. They have a stable of a lot of big guys, but they're just very young.
That's
and
the
Jay
issue.
Norvell's a good coach, but when do they break out?
I don't know, and I don't know if it's Trevor Knight's issue or if it's these players' issues. I don't know. I really don't. Right. I'm not good enough at gauging that.
Right. You think about their top three. You have Sterling Shepard. What is he, 6 feet tall? Barely that. 6'1". KJ Young, 6 feet tall. Deron Neal. It's, speedy guys with KJ Young obviously has great hands. Sterling, a phenomenal competitor.
And
Deron Neal,
great speed.
Yeah, Deron Neal has pretty decent route running, but there's no size.
No.
Can anybody truly consistently stretch the field other than Sterling? The answer right now is no. Guys like Jordan Smallwood, like you said, Jeffrey Mead, maybe continue to develop, and maybe we see those guys coming off the loss continue to push some more guys out there onto the field against Texans.
Very true. Very true. We need the size.
Gotta change.
Something's got to change, but they always have that rushing attack. Obviously, Samaje Perine.
Yeah, speaking of the running attack, let's DJ Casper it on and slide over to the left to Mason Prince.
I see what you did there. Well, the rushing game last week was not what we thought it was. It wasn't as good as it was last week. Wasn't as good as it was a couple weeks ago against West Virginia. But Josh Heupel, you got to give him the ball. You got to give your boys the ball. You got to give Samaje and Ross the chance to break one. You can't pass the ball that much when it's not working out for you.
Feed the beast and let him run.
Yes, feed the beast, let him run. Again, Keith Ford.
I'm missing him.
Yeah,
Out.
Keith Ford is out again. When are we going to see him back? That's the scary thing because no one knows.
Yep.
No one knows when Keith Ford's going to be back. I walked by him the other day on campus. He's not limping.
Yeah.
He's walking like a normal person.
Oh, did you give him a high five too? You got boys like that?
Yeah, I did.
What's up, G?
I said, what's up, fam? I said, what's good?
What up, fam?
Yeah, but
Actually, I was there. You just said, hey, what's up, Keith?
Yeah.
So, no, he didn't say anything. He goes,
Talk about
he goes
this
like
1-2 punch. What does Samaje bring to the table? What does Alex bring to the table? And how can Heupel use those two guys together, kind of alternating to kind of loosen up defenses maybe?
Well, what you get with Samaje Perine is a guy who can pound the defense, grind it out between the guards.
Right.
And on the other hand, Alex Ross, outside the guards,
Right.
that's where he is most dangerous. When you get him in the open field, you give him space to work with. Samaje is a straight line, run you over type of runner, and Alex Ross is that as well, but he's got the breakaway speed. If you give him a little bit of daylight, he's gone. That's what I'm looking for.
Talking about daylight, Cody, what happened with this offensive line last week? You know, it's kind of like night and day. What about this offensive line?
Yeah, I mean, you look at it, and they barely ran the ball in the second half. They still ended up for the game with over 150 yards rushing, which isn't bad, but a lot of those came on Trevor Knight's scrambles. So the offensive line, I think Heupel kind of lost confidence in him a little bit during that second half compared to, like, say, when West Virginia, when Samaje Perine ran for 242 yards, you know, and throughout the whole year until like last game, it just seemed like they had it going. They were just running over people, and TCU presented that challenge to them. They were going to man up and be physical with them, and I think Texas is that same type of defensive front. They have those guys that will be able to stop in there and stop the run.
Right.
And so I really look for if the offensive line can dominate or even open up some holes and they can run the ball early, then you'll be fine on offense. But they can't, it'll be a struggle for them.
That's the thing for me. If you can bash on Trevor Knight for not completing his passes, but at the same time, the offensive line, it didn't help him last week. He was running for his life. That was the most he's ran that I've seen in his whole OU career. He was out of the pocket. Most of his throws were out of the pocket.
Most times you ran like a chicken with its head cut off.
Yeah, exactly. And
not knowing where it's going.
And this week it's got to be better because Texas is going to bring the heat.
Mm-hmm.
They got the size.
They got the size and they got the speed.
You know what they say? You can't stand the heat. Get out of the football field.
Get out of the football
field. Oh, yeah, that's right. They do say that, don't they?
Zach Stefanik, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and switch gears to the defense. I feel like that's some good offense talk. Earlier this week, Mason sat down. He talked to talked about this OU defense with some players, some coaches, and what kind of challenges Tyrone Swoops especially is going to present, similar to Trevon Boykin, like we talked about earlier.
I'd say it's about the same. You know, Texas is a good team. You know, they have the same amount of talent as TCU. So, I mean, we don't look at it no differently. You know, it's still a challenge.
It's almost as though Trevon Boykin provided a tune-up for the Sooners as they get ready to face another agile, mobile quarterback this week in Tyrone Swoops. The defense didn't perform up to expectations against TCU last week, but getting ready to head to the Cotton Bowl, the Sooners realized that there was even less room for error.
All these mobile quarterbacks put stress on your defense across the board. You know, that was evident, you know, the other night. And, you know, this team, it'll be, you know, we see different preparations. You know, we saw a lot of different stuff that we hadn't seen.
Definitely helped. Boykin, I feel like, was more of a mobile quarterback, but we know that Swoops is a definite mobile quarterback as well, and just, you know, getting that first taste of what a mobile quarterback can do. So he definitely prepared us, and we know what to expect coming from Swoops this coming up week.
It's probably the biggest game he's played in, you know, in his, you know, first 5 starts or whatever. So, you know, it's a lot of pressure, obviously, him being the starting quarterback in this game. So us putting that extra pressure on him, you know, make him uncomfortable will be a lot better for us.
Obviously, the Sooners looking to have better luck against Tyrone Swoops and Charlie Strong's offense this week. Zach, the problem can't be the athletes on the defense, right? Because this Oklahoma defense chock full of them.
No, the one running joke on the set of GamedayU has got to be the term Space Cadets, and that's what a lot of the guys looked like out there last week. It seriously looked like they were on Mars.
Ill-prepared, it seemed
Ill-prepared. Like. They didn't really, they seemed like they were almost in a zero-gravity mode kind of thing, if you want to go down that Space Cadet road, because it really felt like they had, honestly, no idea what they were going up against in Boykin. Boykin ran all over them.
Yeah, they were on their heels and everything, but some bright spots for the linebackers. Obviously, Jordan Evans continuing to get better. Cody, talk a little bit about these linebackers, Dom Alexander, Eric Stryker, Geno Grissom. What do these guys bring to the table that might help contain or even pressure Swoops tomorrow?
I mean, definitely. When you look over the course of the season, I think you have to look at the linebackers as being the most consistent group of players on the defense. You got Dom Alexander, who's leading the team with 38 tackles. You have Jordan Evans, who has 35 tackles. And then you have Stryker with 25 tackles. And then he has 3.5 sacks, 6.5 tackles for loss. Probably one of the best defensive players in the country. So when you look at it, they're making plays. And it's easy when you got those, those linemen up front taking up spots, taking up space, and they're just going up there and making the tackle. So they just got to be flying around. I mean, Dom Alexander's kind of that. Eric Stryker's kind of that unquestioned leader of that linebacker group. You got Geno Grissom, who's kind of the soft-spoken but plays hard, a great player. Scored 3 touchdowns, defensive touchdowns in his last 13 games. So when you look at those players, I think that has to be the bright spot, along with the defensive line for the OU defense so far.
Cody coming at you with some of that knowledge. Or Mason, let's see if you can back that up with a little breakdown of the line.
Well, the defensive line last week, they got to Boykin, they just couldn't wrap him up is the problem. And that's what they're going to try to do better this week. Charles Taffer, Chuka Ndulue, and Jordan Phillips.
There you go.
Watch for them to try to get after Swoops come Saturday, because he's young and they know he is, and he's inexperienced, so they're going to try to go get him.
So let's talk about that a little bit. These are some big guys, some guys who have been under the bright lights several times. They were chasing around A.J. McCarron not too long ago, and now suddenly they got a rookie quarterback. They got a rebuilt offensive line. Do you see this as an opportunity for OU to feast with their front seven?
Yeah, I think they do feast with their front seven. They're hungry. Yeah. They're hungry after last week. I couldn't count how many times last week that they were trying to wrap up Boykin and just couldn't get him down. If Swoops has the exact same effect as Boykin did, it's going to be a long day for this defensive line, but I think coming off that backside, you're going to look for Chuka and you're going to look for Tapper coming off that edge, because they're going to be focused on the big man in the middle, Jordan Phillips, and with that, the linebackers are going to have an easy way to the quarterback as well as the defensive ends.
I think you're going to be talking fried Thanksgiving dinner kind of feast.
Yes, exactly.
Tomorrow. But that secondary, that's probably was the weak point. Zach Sanchez said earlier this week that Q Hayes, Julian Wilson, and himself got together, a little text message group about their poor play and how they have such high expectations that didn't live up to those. What does this secondary have to do to get focused? Because last week was not the secondary we're used to seeing.
No, it wasn't. Their heads were all over the place. I wrote down here burned a little. Burned a little. Because they got burned a little bit. They were exposed a little bit. But these guys are real good athletes. Just as a whole, as a team, 9-game streak of an interception right now is what they're working with. And that's not just the secondary. That's also the linebackers and such. But
they're taking the ball away.
Yeah, exactly. Taking the ball away. But we always joke around the no-fly zone.
Yeah.
Well, it was kind of the fly zone last week.
It was
bit.
DFW International is what it was on Saturday.
Hey, those TCU receivers were no joke.
Exactly.
Billy tried to warn us about it in the pre-show.
Right. Yes. And Texas has a few really good athletes too, really good receivers that they're going to have to contain and not get a little burned. That's what I wrote down.
You're right.
Well, let's hope that they don't put the burnt in burnt orange tomorrow, because they'd like to stay a little crimson and cream, I think. I think that's what Sooner fans would like to see.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I like that.
As we said earlier, no one in Norman likes burnt orange. Everybody likes the Boomer Sooner around here.
Nobody?
The Crimson Clad?
There's too much burnt orange.
No, you.
But when we come back, we're wrapping up GamedayU post-game call-outs. Final word and predictions before our post-game. That's what I was going to get to tomorrow at 3:30. But before that, we're getting everything done from the pregame show live from the State Fair of Texas.
Nicely done.
Go for some chicken.
Hi, welcome to Raising Cane's. What can I get for you today?
I'll have the box combo. I'll get the 3-finger combo.
I'll take the Caniac combo.
I'll take the sandwich combo.
All right, we'll have that right up to you.
Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, located in Adams Residence Hall of the OU campus.
Welcome back to Game Day. We're finishing things up with our final segment of the show. That includes call-outs, final word, and predictions. We're at the State Fair of Texas. It's been fun. It's been just fattening. That's a good word that comes to mind.
Yeah, that's a good word.
I can slowly feel my
arteries
pores clog and close about as much as Todd Gurley's playing career at Georgia.
Oh,
anyway,
that's cold.
Too soon.
Wow.
Too
Man,
soon.
that's mean.
Too soon.
Let's jump into call-outs, guys. Our
You're
national player
salt in the wound.
call-out. Who do you got, Cody?
I don't think I'm going to go with the player. I'm going to go with an organization, the NCAA.
Wow.
Hey,
From what-
that was a good segue.
I
For
can't
what
wait.
they're doing
I'm
to
excited.
Todd Gurley, I don't see any reason why a college student shouldn't be able to make profit off of their name, because you have the schools that are selling their numbered jerseys online for $120, and the player doesn't see a penny of that. And then so I think if they want to sign a couple autographs, get a couple $100 on the side, I don't see any problem with that. They had the same kind of saga with Johnny Manziel last year. He got a half game suspension.
Two quarters.
2 quarters. So if they suspend Todd
Yeah, you
Gurley
got a
for the rest of
30-minute
the year,
timeout.
Yeah.
it's kind of hypocritical, I think.
I think he's right.
National play call-out. You go for it, man.
Okay.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, that was really good. Mine wasn't thinking outside the box like that, but I'm going to call out Mississippi State. Now, you guys have Auburn this weekend, all right? You guys have already made a name for yourself. You guys have College Game Day. We called out Ole Miss last week because they had Game Day. Now I'm calling you out. You guys have Game Day this weekend. You know, the ball's in your court. The football is in your field. There we go. Sorry.
There you go.
Change
I
that
like
reference
that.
up
I
a little
like
bit.
that.
I see what you're doing.
Yeah, you guys got Dak Prescott running for you right now. You
I'll
can
tell you
now
what.
isolate yourself and become one of the premier teams in this 4-team
Yeah,
playoff.
if
you win,
they beat Auburn.
that's what I'm saying.
There's no reason why
There
they
you go.
wouldn't be able
People-
to jump FSU and move up to
people
that
right
number
now
one
they
spot.
talk about Mississippi State and they're like, well, no. If you beat Auburn, you're good.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, Matt McCulloch could single-handedly run the Heisman campaign for Dak Prescott.
I really do love
He
him,
really
man.
could.
I mean, yeah.
He really could. He
could.
loves him.
Who Dak?
Who Dak?
Who Dak? Who Dak?
I love
Mason,
it.
you're a
Print the
national
shirts.
call-out.
All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and call out Charlie Strong. Charlie,
my boy.
Charlie, sit down.
Charlie,
Let's talk. Charlie, let's talk. Charlie. Sorry, I get lost.
You
in my
like the
thoughts.
word
I get lost in my
Go,
thoughts.
go.
Are you
This
just
is
going to say
gonna be a
Charlie
special
the
moment.
Yes.
Go.
Okay.
You got it.
You were hired for a reason. You were hired to win games. You're about to play in the biggest game of your coaching career almost, besides the BCS games that you played in with Louisville. This is your biggest game at Texas. You're 2-3. Don't worry about the record. Don't worry about all that. All those people in Burnt Orange, they might want to call for your head. Don't worry about it. You know that you're a great coach, and you know what you're doing with this program is going in the right directions. This is what you need to do right here. And
Oh, no way.
block out the haters.
He blocking him out.
The call-outs are on point today,
Yeah,
guys.
I mean, those are on point. We'll revisit this NCAA thing after the call-outs, but let's jump into OU. Let's
go.
jump into that. Cody, OU player call-outs.
OU player callouts, secondary. Mainly Julian Wilson, because I think, they've been hitting the long. Each team that we've played the past 2 weeks have been trying to hit that long ball against Julian Wilson, and they have successfully, multiple times.
Yeah.
So I think he needs to be on his toes and get ready to play.
OU call out, Trev Knight. My boy Trev Knight. Come on, man. Last weekend, just scrap that. Just scrap that from your brain. 40%. Scrap it.
Bury the
Move
tape.
on. Huh?
Bury the tape.
Yeah, exactly. Burn it.
In the backyard where the dog can't find it.
Yeah, exactly. Just bounce back this week. Have a great week. He was able to. He started the season off nice. I don't want him to take a step back. I want him to take two steps forward.
Yeah.
Take 2 steps forward.
Yeah,
There
you
we
can't
go.
have this.
Don't
You
take
can't have
one
this.
back. There we
Go
go,
one
right?
step forward, 2 steps
Yeah,
back. That old
yeah,
thing. You
yeah.
can't have that. You got to keep going forward.
Yeah.
Well,
got tripped up a little bit.
I mean, the guy I'm looking at is the guy that Trevor Knight attempts to throw to, not very well. But Sterling Shepard, you're the leader of this offense. I don't care what they say about Trevor Knight. You're the playmaker. You are the guy who goes out there. You catch for 100 yards every game, and people aren't saying your name. They're worried about the running game. They're worried about how Trevor Knight's doing. You're out there. You're grinding, getting those yards, getting those catches.
Getting that money.
Beautiful catches against TCU. It blew my mind. You need to go out there, and you're going to need to take over again because I don't know where your young guys and your teammates are. Deron Neal and KJ Young, I don't know where they are.
Should have called them out.
You're the guy, and show them that you are the guy, and go out there and catch for 200 yards on Saturday.
Got the goosebumps over here. Mason Prince giving us some good speeches, and I feel like there's going to be another few good ones coming up. Because as we do at the end of almost pretty much all of our Game Day U shows, is we got the final word, guys. One word, literally one word, to describe the OU Texas game, and then explain why that one word makes sense on all the levels it makes sense. Cody, you're up.
Heupel.
Heupel.
I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Like, if he calls a good game, OU wins.
Heck, that's a call-out. Call-out and a final word.
I like it.
I like it, too.
My one word, sound. And I'm not talking about how loud the stadium's going to be tomorrow. I'm talking about OU must play sound football. Make good decisions on the offense. Make good decisions on the defense. Play sound football. Know your roles. Know where you're at all times. If something's not working, change it up.
I'm going to go with strength. And with
Strength
comes with toughness. Are you mentally strong? Are you strong? Are you tough? Are you tough on the field? If you're OU's offensive line, are you gonna push them back? Are you gonna run the ball down their throats like you should? Are you gonna protect Trevor Knight? Let him get the ball downfield to guys like Sterling Shepard. Are you gonna be mentally tough? Are you not gonna make those mistakes that you made last week? You need to be strong and ready for this game.
How about pride, guys?
Yeah.
Have a little pride in your university. Have a little pride in your team. The men on your left, the men on your right. Tomorrow morning, a bunch of players, about 100 players, 11 guys are going to go out on the field for one team, another 11 are going out on the other team, and it doesn't matter what numbers in front of the team name on the big screen.
No.
All that matters is those 11 guys are going to run around against the other 11 guys. They're going to run around and play for pride. That's my one word.
I'm going to take your word and say tradition.
Tradition.
We've seen the tradition that is the Texas State Fair. We've seen the videos today throughout GamedayU, OU Texas, the Red River rivalry, the Red River showdown. Tradition of what that rivalry means to both teams, programs, and college football in general. It generates a huge revenue to the city of Dallas. It's one of the biggest money makers in the country in any sports setting. Tradition. Beyond the money, beyond the glory, it's the tradition that really separates OU Texas from anything else. While we're getting done with those final words, let's jump into predictions. That's all that matters at the end of the day. Who's going to win the Red River Showdown tomorrow?
Cody.
I'm going to go with OU 24-14.
OU wins this one 31-13. They get a lot of the scores on the ground, a couple field goals here and there. Texas' offense doesn't have much firepower to it. That's why I have them with 13 points. 31-13 OU.
Well, I like that, but I'm going to go 34-20. I think Texas jumps on them early. I think they hit OU in the mouth coming right out of the gate. I think Texas gets up by 14 in the first half.
Whoa.
OU has to fight back.
I agree. And hold on to your seats because I think I'm about to break some Game Day U history. 27-24, Texas Longhorns. They get timely turnovers. Charlie Strong reminds everybody why he was hired. That defense comes out. They back up Tyrone Swoops, who has a breakout game. And the Sooners have to go back and stare themselves in the mirror before they finish out their season and think about finishing strong.
I like that.
You know what? I can see it happening. I'm going to go with OU. They're battle tested after TCU. I think they understand what it takes now for them to compete the rest of the season. The expectation of them going down the line. I'm going 26-9. I don't think it's going to be very high scoring at all. 26-9. No touchdowns for the Longhorns. I think the Sooners are going to struggle to score touchdowns as well. I think there's going to be a lot of field goals, and especially with the forecast, a lot of rain tomorrow. It's going to be tough playing on that field at the Cotton Bowl. So that's all we got for it.
What a time, though. What a time today.
A special show here at the State Fair of Texas.
We had great people all around watching. Great setting. We had food.
My first time here, and I love it. I love it, man.
Thanks for joining us live from the State Fair of Texas, where Game Day U will have all your coverage tomorrow. OU Texas, 11 a.m. Central Time kickoff. See you tomorrow at the Red River Showdown from the Cotton Bowl.
Let's go.
Saturday Night Live vet Jan Hooks has died. She was 57 years old. Hooks was on the show from 1986 to 1991. Green Day, Joan Jett, and Sting could all be headed to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2015. They're 3 of the 15 acts nominated for induction. For the 3rd year in a row, fans could have their say by voting on Rolling Stone's website or at rockhall.com. The inductees will be announced in December.
I gotta get a go, get a go, get a go, get a bad.
Robin Thicke won't be getting wife Paula Patton back anytime soon. After separating 8 months ago, Patton has filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences. Ever since the split, Thicke has made a string of public attempts to woo his wife back, including writing the song Get Her Back and filming an intimate music video for the tune. Some have suggested that Thicke's rumored infidelity was the reason for the breakup. For Hollywood Minute, I'm Mary Maloney.
Man, I am hungry.
Yeah, I could go for some chicken.
Hi, welcome to Days & Canes. What can I get for you today?
I'll have the box combo. I'll get the 3-finger combo.
I'll take the caniac combo.
I'll take the sandwich combo.
All right, we'll have that right up for you.
Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, located in Adams Residence Hall of the OU campus.
Hey, we're Wheeler Barrow, and you're watching The Set. My name is Colton Jean, and my other bandmate who's not here is Aaron Wheeler. I am 18, and Aaron is, I think, 25. I think the first song, Mind's Aching, is just about needing a drink of alcohol or a cigarette or some kind of tobacco product.